Matt, you told us that you've had interactions like this before with Republicans in terms of these allegations of voter fraud. Tell me how the process normally goes in your experience.
Yeah, so I've been a Republican lawyer my whole career and have had many, many hours worth of conversations with people who believe in widespread voter fraud. And it always starts out with over-the-top, grandiose allegations with the promise that research is just around the corner. And then it quickly devolves into a series of shifting anecdotes. And so what I would say is, based on my experience, what people should do is not listen to what these people are saying on TV or on Twitter. They should look and see what they actually say in court. And I think what we've seen in the post-election period, as well as earlier on in litigation that was before the election, when judges have asked the Trump campaign for evidence of voter fraud in a circumstance where they're under oath, where they cannot puff and they cannot lie, they've had nothing to point to. And I think as I look at this, I've been in Republican politics a long time. I know what a Republican legal strategy looks like. But so far, this is not a legal strategy. This is lawyers acting as grief counselors to an emotionally sensitive president who somehow can't quite come to terms with an obvious loss.
Tim, you write about Ted Cruz in your article, and about how Ted Cruz went to Harvard. He's a lawyer. He's argued cases in front of the Supreme Court. And yet, as we heard earlier in the show, Ted Cruz is out there on Fox News saying that the election isn't over because there's all of this fraud and only legal ballots should be counted. Matthew, when voters look to Ted Cruz, who has this pedigree that Tim Alberta has pointed out, and he's saying it, I guess, what do you tell them when somebody with that sort of resume comes out and spews this nonsense?
Well, it's unfortunate that this nonsense really did used to be on the fringes of my party. And unfortunately, some are indulging in it from my perspective due to political expediency. But again, I would point everyone to don't pay attention to what Ted Cruz is saying on Twitter. Pay attention to what the Trump campaign is saying in court. And like I said earlier this year, when federal judges in Montana and New Jersey and Pennsylvania ordered them to produce evidence of voter fraud, they had nothing to point to. And that's playing out again and again in this post-election period. There's nothing that they've been able to come up with. All they have so far is a result that they don't like. And that's not enough, obviously.